Peter. Today I'm at Wellhouse to look at the new Nissan NV350 conversion. Now it's based on the short wheelbase version of the Japanese camper van. You get them in two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, petrol, diesel, all with automatic gearboxes, and they're either 2 litre or 2.5 litre engines. Now it's only 4.8 metres long by 1.7 metres wide, so it's an extremely compact vehicle, quite a bit smaller than an Alphard. However, despite that, it still packs in 4 berths. This one has 2 travel seats in the rear as well, making 4 in total, and uniquely, which I think is unique for a Japanese conversion in the UK, it's a crash-tested rear travel seat, so it's nice and safe for all the family, so great for peace of mind. It's a genuine 4-berth too. There's loads of room in the pop top, and the conversion, although it's a typical side kitchen conversion, it has a lot more room than you'd expect for its footprint, and some unique features. But let's get into that and let's have a closer look. Now the first thing you're going to notice and probably be a bit surprised about is just how much room there is inside this. 4.8 metres long, so barely bigger than a family car and considerably smaller than things like Alphards. We've pushed the seat, the sliding seat, all the way back, admittedly, to show you just how much lounge space you can create on site. But I mean, it's fantastic. Loads of headroom with the pop top up, and this is the unique feature that you get with this conversion. Because it's a cab forward design, you've got extra room on the floor space, so you can fit in this Ottoman. So you've got an extra seating area that also doubles as a small bed, perhaps for small children. Put a bassinet on there. So quite a flexible space and great to sit on when you're using the hob. So that's a real plus point. I also noticed underneath it, they've hidden one of the water tanks and the heating system. So they're nice and protected from the elements in a nice insulated cabinet. So that's a really practical feature too. I'll slide this seat forward now, just so you can see where it would normally sit in the bed mode. So I'll just release the catches, pop those up, and then grab onto something and slide it forwards. Where's the something to hang on to? There we go. Right. So I'll just come forward with this. So this is the seat locked into its normal travel position. So 2 really decent sized adult berths, and one thing I will show you, it's incredible the amount of floor space. I mean, you know, I can stretch my legs out and I still can't quite touch the Ottoman over there. So amazing amount of floor space for such a compact van. And I also noticed this. I'll just make the bed up for you. So very straightforward. Flip that down, pull that latch, drop it down. Doesn't take long at all. But here's the thing, on many short wheelbase vans, it blocks the fridge when the bed's down. It doesn't on this one. And if your other half wants to stay in bed, well, you can sit on the Ottoman, make a cup of tea and have it all ready for them. So really nice feature that. And practical, lots of space for getting changed. I'll show you over the cab area, but what you'll probably do is decant your touring stuff up over the cab area. There's quite a deep shelf there, and it's a natural place for all your clothing, so you can get changed quite easily. So, you know, you can just stand up, grab your stuff, and away you go, out. I also like the fact, I mean, particularly, you might even want to leave this bed made up, because there's only 3 cabinets. In fact, no, just 2. There's only 2 cabinets it blocks. So actually, you could almost use it as a day bed and have that as your sort of temporary seating while you're on the road. So quite a flexible layout with a lot of a lot of benefits. And I have to keep saying it, 4.8 metres long. It's a bit of a TARDIS, this vehicle, it really is. Good long bed. It's over, I think that's about 6'4", I would guess. And plenty of room, nice and flat. Obviously, I've not slid across the curtains, but these are easy enough to do, he said, not being able to undo the catch. They just slide over. There's one on the other side. I can't be bothered to get that one out, but you get the idea. So yeah, lots of space, and with these nice big windows, it's quite good for those of us that are a bit like campsite meerkats, want to know what's going on a campsite. I like that. If you're in a nice scenic area, sometimes you want to have a cup of tea in bed and just look at the view while you idly decide how you're going to spend the day. Very nice. But let's have a look up top. And you've got this really rather spacious area. I'll just put my arm in so you've got sort of an idea of scale. But I would say that's about probably, well, it's getting on for a metre. So it's getting on for about a metre deep. Obviously the van's 1.7 metres wide. I think it's probably a little bit shorter than that with it being up here, but a really good usable space. I would pack your clothes up here in 2 bags for easy access and treat that as a campsite wardrobe. But yeah, flexible space can be used for a lot of things. And I've also noticed you've got these light units up here on stalks, and usefully you've got USB points on both of them. So that gives you, I think, how many USB points in total? I think that's 4 just in the habitation section before you think about using any of the cab 12-volt sockets. So great for charging up all your devices. Now up in the pop top, I mentioned it was quite a large one. Well, loads of room up here. You've got 2 mesh screens to either side, so cross ventilation, nice breeze in summer, should keep you cool. And the front window is a clear vinyl one, so that can let a bit of extra light in summer. The bed itself pulls down like this, and if you stand on the Ottoman and the kitchen worktop, you've got a natural step up here. Now, actually, that's pretty good. I think that might be, yeah, it is. That's a 6-foot bed. I don't understand this vehicle. How can you get a 6-foot bed in a 4.8 metre long van? That's quite strange. You could actually make it a bit longer as well. If you had another infill piece to drop over the gap and a bit more padding, you could extend it and make the bed even bigger. So I would be fine sleeping on this. Yeah, it's surprising. Right, I need to go a bit thinner squeezing down here though. I blame the padded coat, honest. And yeah, when it's not in use, it just neatly pops out of the way. And a 6-foot adult can happily wander around in all the floor space. So I'm dead impressed. Really good, really good. And these German-made seats that Wellhouse use are excellent. Really quick to set up and convert from travel seat to bed and back again. So I'll just convert it back to a travel seat. Set your stopwatch, go. I mean, how quick was that? Great system. So the travel seat slides forwards and backwards on these 2 rails, and as you can see, I'll just flip the carpet back. As you can see, these latches secure it in place. You just pull out the bottom bit, press it down, press the metal tab down, then lift it up, and it can slide anywhere on these serrated rails. There's no set fixed position. It's a properly crash tested travel seat in any position on the rail. That's unique. Some of the other models, Rymos for example, it only sits in fixed places on the rail. This is far more flexible. Headrests, as you can see, these are just up and down, and the all-important Isofix. So these are metal loops that secure special Isofix seat systems for children. They're a lot stronger and safer. And remember, this whole unit is an M1 tested travel seat designed to be used in this camper van. So super safe for all the family. Very, very important point that for peace of mind. This is with the travel seat in the bed position. So even with it folded up, you've still got access to the fridge. And yet you have all this to sit on, lounge on, store things on. Really nice. Now, I mentioned before about this Ottoman space, and it's fantastic. You've got a view. So many camper van conversions put the kitchen cabinets across the walkway and it just blocks it, and it spoils the view when you're on a campsite. I can see the bed made up, the Ottoman made up, you know, nice gin and tonic in hand, looking at the scenery. Perfect. On a really nice campsite, that would be bliss. So this is it's only a little detail, but it's surprisingly brilliant. I really like this. I think it's a bit of a game changer. And of course, if you're cooking, we're chatting away, being sociable, and still using all the hob. So let's take a closer look at the Ottoman. Well, as you can see, it's quite a decent size, and I had wondered if there was storage underneath it, but this bed frame lifts up. There's a little bit of storage, but it's not particularly deep. You've got your water tank under there, and as you can see down here, we've got the blown air heating system. Now this whole thing cunningly slides forward to form the bed. So we'll go into that in a second. Now, as you can see, the backrest section drops in place and you get this useful, it's kind of like a sort of half bed. It could be used for small children, cots, cribs, things like that. But you could also use it as a day bed. And I've noticed that if you grab this cushion here, you can plop that in the corner, and with a couple of scatter cushions, you sort of enhance the chaise longue area. Now, I've also noticed that if you angle the seat back on the cab seat, you can have a chaise longue facing that way. You could probably do something with this one, the driver's one as well. Have that angle back and have sort of two of you lounging around here. So multiple lounging options. It's unusual in a normal short wheelbase van. I know you're all getting bored of me saying 4.8 metres, but it's amazing to have so many lounging options in a tiny van. So brilliant. It feels like winning. So after all the excitement of the Ottoman, I better calm down and show you some of the kitchen facilities. So this is based on the side conversion, the award-winning side conversion of their Transit custom models. So very well equipped. You've got your Thetford chemical loo down there. This slide out drawer has three shelf spaces. You could use that for tins, packet foods, small kitchen items, that kind of thing. And obviously you've got the 40-litre compressor fridge with the venting control above it. So when you're not using the vehicle, just set it to vent and it just locks with a gap so you don't get mould in it and things when it's not in use. I'll just switch that off so I can latch it fully. Over here, useful storage locker under the sink. Not massive, but they're making use of every millimetre of space. This particular model also comes with a mini grill, which is perfect for toasting your breakfast items or cooking your tea. I think that's an optional extra, but it's nice to have. Obviously, if you don't want it as an optional extra, you could just have it as an extra storage locker, but it's nice to have the choice. And over here, we've got another, that's quite a deep storage locker. So plenty of space for your bits and bobs. Overhead lockers, just a couple of narrow ones. They go back a little way, but those are for smaller items, I would suggest. It's all nicely finished and edge bound, and all soft close and positive locking catches, so nice and secure in transit. Over here we've got usual Dometic twin burner gas hob and a nice deep sink. This one's just a cold water one. And there's a good bit of worktop as well. If you've got a brew on the go, plenty of space for the chocolate hobnobs and a couple of mugs, so bonus. Over here you've got the usual bank of sockets. You've got a 12 volt, 2 USB A sockets and a main socket. Obviously that'll only work on a mains hookup unless you have an inverter fitted, which is an optional extra. Various light switches and controls. That one's for the fridge. There's also a new touchscreen Sargent control panel. As you can see, it's very logically laid out. So you've got lighting, go back to home, power, so that's the battery power, water levels, internal, external temperatures. So it's nice, it's a black one, it's making it 16 degrees inside, not 11 degrees on the outside, so maybe the black's the top colour for a camper van in Britain, I don't know. Just go back to the home setting. So, it just toggles round. So you can either go into each individual one, or you can go into one of them and just toggle. So, nice and simple to use. And obviously if you want to power it off, just press the button. So, very straightforward. Blown air heating controls on this model. Again, very intuitive to use. Just poke the button to start it off. And as I mentioned before, the heating vent is down here, so nice and toasty on your feet where you want it. Now I also noticed this particular one is fitted with these useful factory sliding windows. So, and there's one on the other side as well, so you can get a nice bit of cross ventilation going in summer. Now another feature I really like is that you can actually open up the doors from both sides. You've got this rather odd frame round the cabinets. I think that's probably to support the overhead lockers more than anything else, and it also frames the window quite nicely. But yeah, great for passing shopping through if someone's loading it up after a shopping trip. You can look and admire the view on this side with that door shut when you're on a campsite. So yeah, and it's quite sociable as well. Some pictures you have to park in in one direction or the other, and you might want to access the vehicle from both sides, or grab a drink or something. So quite convenient to have that. And then down here you've got your water fill point, so that's really good. Keeps it away from road debris, and you don't have to worry about losing the key, so there's no point in locking it. You've got quite a deep rear section of the bed, and this actually lifts up, as you can see, to give you lots of floor space. Now, one thing I did want to do was just show you the scale and the flexibility of this rear seat. Sliding seat system. I've got one in my van, absolute game changer. Once you've had one, you wondered how you ever managed without them. They're just so flexible. So you can slide the seat all the way to the rear. Obviously you get no luggage space if you do that, but you get a massive lounge. And as I mentioned before, if you decant some of your stuff into the over cab area, that could be a way of having a very sociable lounge. So that's with the lounge all the way back, huge lounge. I've shown you that from the other side. But look at this. Now I'm going to jump in for scale, but just look how much room you can have. Still going. Right. I mean, okay. 4.8 metres long, and look at the size of this boot. Now the roofs are up, so you normally only have this sort of height, but this is a massive space. Sports equipment, mountain bikes, leisure equipment, perhaps if you're disabled, you need to get your wheelchairs in, things like that. Very useful space this. You could do a lot with it. I know you can get all manner of brackets for these rails as well. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can use this space. So brilliant. Now while the seat's out of the way, I just thought I'd show you in the locker at the back here. Now this is quite a deep locker. This one's shelved, but I think they can, oh no, they're fixed in. But it's also got a hanging rail at the top, so you could have it for clothes or shelve it out if you don't need anything to be hung up. So practical space. Over here, you've got your gas access hatch. Now obviously it's a refillable LPG tank in a sealed locker, so this is all sealed. And to switch it on and off, you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, yeah, you can just see, there's the on-off knob. And has this nice sealed cap that goes back on. Keep it all neat and tidy, and keep you safe. This is a sealed gas locker vented through the floor of the vehicle, as per the gas regs. Very important on conversions. A lot of manufacturers are not following basic procedures, but obviously Wellhouse are following all of those. Up here, got another useful locker, and as you can see, you've got access to all your fuses and your consumer unit. So I think this one is the, right, so that's all your main circuit breakers, and over here, if I can lift it up, use the tab, Peter, you can see all your fuses. So no rummaging in the back of underneath seats or behind things. Nice and easily accessible in a locker. So inside the cab, it's just a bit of a step up. It has a slightly higher driving position, but nothing. It's not like stepping up into a truck or anything like that. I've got the seat quite a way back here. In fact, is that going back? Oh, it does. It goes back further. So yeah, whatever size driver, you'll fit in here, no problem. I've got plenty of headroom too. Typical Japanese in here, so everything's electric. So electric windows to either side, electric mirrors that fold up. Nice clear instrument cluster. Automatic gearbox, all of them are automatic. That's a big plus, especially if you live in a town centre and you're stuck in stop-start traffic. It's also worth noting that the petrol engines are ULEZ compliant, so if you live in an inner city area or within the M25, that's worth knowing. So all models have good automatic gearbox as standard. Some have climate control. This one's got a more basic air conditioning system. Rear cooler, rear heater as well. I'm not sure if they're activated. I'll put a link below if they're not. And usefully, you've got a switch so that the radio system, they always put aftermarket radios in because Japanese units use a different frequency, so a Japanese radio doesn't pick up anything up in the UK. So they always put an aftermarket head unit in, but you can power it off the vehicle battery or the leisure battery with this switch. So you can have your radio on without worrying about flattening your vehicle battery. So when you're on a campsite, that's just a little detail from years of building award-winning camper vans, so that's worth knowing. The reversing screen also activates on this screen too, so that's really handy if you're struggling to back up a really compact 4.8 metre vehicle. No, they're always useful whatever length of vehicle you have, so worth having. Down here, ashtray, unusually. I'm not sure if smoking is allowed in Japan. I have a feeling it still is. Yeah, lots of sort of rotating vents as well. Japanese vehicles always tend to have really powerful AC systems, so it'll keep you nice and cool in summer and nice and warm in winter. Yeah, the seats are really pleasant and comfortable actually. Headrest in the perfect place and they feel supportive on your shoulders, so yeah. You'll have noticed on this particular one, some of them, they're all different specs when they come over. This one has a useful storage bin here and sort of cup holders at the back and a really deep locker here for all sorts of bits. Oh, and you can alter the sections as well. Oh, that's neat. It's also got little slits in here so you can put your cables for your devices and charge them up on the 12-volt socket here. Thoughtful. Not all models have this. Some of them have a small sort of jump seat in the centre with a lap belt. So they're all slightly different specs, but all are well equipped, all automatic, all air conditioning, all UK spec radios. So lots to like in here, really. So what does it drive like? Well, the first thing you'll notice, it's got a push-on, push-off handbrake, a bit like some models of Mercedes have. So that's a little bit different. Again, nice big mirrors and the reversing camera, accompanied with the usual bleep, which all Japanese vehicles give you. They love to bleep. Now I'm just going to take it round the industrial estate, so I'm not going far. Automatic, nice and light power steering, good visibility. The A-pillars are quite narrow. Oh, nice grab handle for getting in and out too, just noticed that. And just go to the end of the road because there's roadworks up there, and I know they drive great anyway, so just drop down here. Hello van. Lovely and smooth. This is a petrol engine one, and it's quite quiet. So I'm not going to go too far. I'm just going on the private roads of this estate. This one doesn't have number plates fitted, and I think that might get me into trouble on the road. And just going to test out the turning circle. So pretty good. It'd be great to drive downtown because of the elevated driving position. You've got a good view over the other traffic and it allows you to anticipate well. Automatic gearbox as well. Nice smooth engine. So if you're thinking of replacing a family car, maybe you've had an SUV and want something a bit more flexible, you can get these in four-wheel drive as well, it's worth noting. This could be a good option for you. I always like Japanese vehicles, they always drive so well and everything always works. You never get electrical things that don't work on them, they're always really good. And now I'm going to play Hunt for the Parking Space. And I will just dump it on the forecourt. Might get a sneak peek into some of the new vehicles they've got coming. But I'll have to blank them. I'm sworn to secrecy on some of them, so you'll have to wait and see for those. So, let's summarise. Well, another really easy vehicle to live with. Great layout. They put a lot of attention and detail into these two N350 conversions they've done. The pop top is probably, they're both really good different conversions. The pop top, it's amazing, it's like a TARDIS. It's probably one of the best uses of space in a compact camper van I've been in. It just lacks nothing. There's no sacrifice for the short 4.8 metre long vehicle. It is just as practical as a Ford Transit Custom. The only thing that's different is the bed is ever so slightly narrower. That's it. You've got the large bed upstairs as well, genuine 4-berth and 4 travel seats. The rear ones being the crash tested ones, the M1 pull tested ones. Really important point, and I think that's unique to a UK Japanese van conversion. So hats off to Wellhouse for focusing on safety for that. Driving it, smooth, easy, simple, all the toys you need. Great. A lot of van for the money. So yeah, a lot to like here. And don't forget, Wellhouse are doing 2 conversions on the Nissan N350. This pop top one and also the high top one, which is slightly longer at 5 metres. 5 metres as long as a short wheelbase Ford conversion, so still a very compact vehicle. Obviously the high top brings different benefits, and that model has a rear toilet area and a larger kitchen, so well worth checking out that video, which is also on Wellhouse's channel. So make sure you have a look at that and check out both ones, because I think they're both brilliant conversions aimed at different sectors, so see which one you prefer. This one drives great as well. I like the petrol engine, and obviously if you live in a low emission zone, it's ULEZ compliant, so that can save you a small fortune if you're constantly moving your vehicle in and out the zone every day. So if you're looking for something to replace a family car, that's a key consideration. But overall, great van, really like it.